If you would like to get your query letter critiqued, but you do not want to pay to have that happen, it can be free, but it will be public out here on my socials. My name is Gina. I'm an author, editor, publishing professional. I help you make your writing better. Housekeeping, if you want to submit, the information on how to do so is in my bio. If you don't want to wait in the line or see if yours is going to pop up and you just want me to help edit your query letter, the information on how to do that is also in my bio. If you don't want to wait for either of those things, I have a querying class linked down below. It is only $30 for 3.5 hours of content that takes you through the entire querying process, start to finish, including before and afters of clients of mine who have been successful and gone on to sign with agents or get publishing deals. And so you can see that the whole process through the whole thing gives you all of the steps. Lastly, there's a real life person on the other side of this query, and so I'm going to be constructive in my criticism, not destructive, because this is all difficult to hear, and so we're all trying to be nice and kind, and don't tell them to just self-publish. They have made their decision that they want to pursue traditional publication. We're going to be supportive. All right, let's dive in. Twins Maddie and Reese are just trying to survive middle school when they are transported in the magical land of Camelria. I don't know why I read fantasy when I cannot do this. Camelria, after meeting the author of their favorite book series, the book series they had read their whole lives about this apparently real land. To make matters worse, this isn't the Camelria they read about, where dragons, fairies, and humans all exist in harmony for the most part. No, this Camelria is cursed. I hate trying to pronounce new things. I don't know why I do this to myself. Okay. So just trying to survive middle school, transported to a magical land after meeting the author of their book series. So I think we can cut out this bit about the book series they've read their whole lives about fictional, we get they've been transported to it. So we know that it's real, and that's just sort of like repeating the thing that you already said. To make matters worse, this is a phrase that shows up in a lot of query letters, or it'll sometimes be like, what's worse is, or worse, colon, blah, blah, blah. So the vibe is right. Like you're on the right track as far as like what you want the query letter to do, but I would just like yoink that phrase out of there because it just becomes like it becomes white noise. It feels like it's a cliche within the query letter world itself. This isn't the Camelria they read about, where dragons, fairies, and humans all exist in harmony for the most part. No. So I would simplify this, clean this up a little bit. So yoink out the to make matters worse. So they've been transported to this after meeting the author of their favorite book series, but turns out Camelria is really cursed. The dragons, fairies, and humans aren't existing in harmony, something like that, right? Like shrink it down. This is a big intro paragraph in which you are like laying the foundation. And I think that, like that one sentence of like, they thought it was going to be fairyland, but instead it is cursed, that is enough backstory. People often ask like, how much backstory can I put in? I need to include so much. Nope, that's enough. They thought it was going to be fairyland, but instead it's cursed. That is enough backstory. With time running out from what's the time, like what's the ticking time bomb here? The Haven twins find themselves embarking on a thrilling adventure across an unknown land. So they are already on a thrilling adventure by being in this place. So you're kind of repeating yourself here. And again, don't tell me that it's thrilling, just show it being thrilling. Assisted by a courageous mouse and a grumpy fairy, they need to locate the fabled stone mentioned in the prophecy. What prophecy? Why do they need to be the ones to collect it? However, the prophecy only speaks of one, and neither of them can figure out which one of them it is. Can they find the stone no one has ever seen? The prophecy saw it, right? If even just in like prophetic mind's eye. No one has ever seen, and figure out who is meant to break the 100-year curse before they and the rest of Camelria disappear forever. Okay, so there's our ticking time bomb. So we've got things kind of like listed out of order here, and this is like, this needs to be like simplified, this needs to be rephrased, and we want to make it more active. So like the Haven twins learn of a prophecy in which one of them is destined to save Camelria from Camelria. One of these twins is destined to save this land from corruption. So they set out on the right. So you can simplify this and make it a little bit more active and feels less world building and a little bit more like character driving it. This book explores the idea of, oh, we're done with the summary. Okay, that is, so we've got who are our main characters is the twins. What is it that they want? I'm not sure if they want to go home, if they want to save the land, if they want to fulfill the prophecy, if they're trying to save their friends, if they're trying to survive, if they want to stay in the land. I don't know what they want. What are they willing to do to get it? They set out somewhere. What is standing in their way? I don't know. Is this a world that's dangerous for children? Are they skilled for this? Are they prepared for this? Are they ready for it? Do they have what they need? Do they have, is there something standing in their way other than just like physical distance? I don't know. And what happens if they fail? This fantasy land disappears. Do they get sent back home when that happens? Do they die along with it? Do we know that it's being destroyed? Is this all like in their imagination? So we do not have enough information in this plot paragraph. This book explores the idea of family, whether that is blood or the friends we find along the way. This is middle grade. You are describing what middle grade is and what middle grade does. So middle grade is all about kids like stepping out and away from their families for the first time and discovering what the big wide world is. And we are redefining what family is, what friends are, what the world is around us. So you're just telling an agent what middle grade does. Through the story, our two main protagonists embark on a journey of self-discovery, repeating what middle grade does, unravel where they came from, and find out what they are made of. This is for the sensitive boys and the headstrong girls. So this whole paragraph's got to go. You're just telling an agent what middle grade is for, and that you understand what your age category is. So that whole thing can go. Land of Stories meets Narnia in the 68,000 word count is good category, and genre are good, but comping to Narnia and is just really, really old. And it is a huge, ultra, mega runaway bestseller. It's been made into movies and miniseries over and over again. Like that, you can't use Narnia. And especially since Narnia also has a very explicitly religious overtone to it. If you are writing Narnia, then you are writing a Christian allegory. And none of the rest of this sounds like a Christian allegory. So you got to find, and if I think you are trying to use this as like children transported to a magical land, that's portal fantasy. That's your subgenre. There are new portal fantasies written every single year. Like I'm finishing Tristan Strong with my youngest child right now. That's a portal fantasy, and that was written just a couple of years ago. So you need to find a newer portal fantasy and find the one that actually matches your vibe here. And middle grade is extremely full of portal fantasies. This is very, very popular in this category because it is that exploration of stepping out into that big, wide, dangerous world and realizing like, oh my gosh, this is so much bigger than I thought the world was ever going to be, and then coming back safely to where going back. I'm not ready to be a grown-up yet. So it is all about like that step out and coming back in. Middle grade is full of portal fantasies. You can find something newer and better than Narnia. Word count is good. Story is planned. First book in a trilogy, but set up to work as a standalone. Great. So you've got word count is good, genre is good, category is good, because we've got middle school, that's middle grade. You've got all of that stuff. Great. And you do understand what middle grade is about. You've described it really well here. So you are in the right place. We just need to, this needs to be more, and this needs to go, and a lot of this needs to be shrunk down. May the land and the people, okay, and then we don't know what that means, so you're going to delete that as well. Instead, you're going to include a very brief bio about yourself, and if you don't have any writing credentials, that's totally fine. Most debut authors have no writing credentials to speak of, so you just say, I live in X with Y, and I enjoy Z, and you're going to talk about family, pets, hobbies, whatever.